we can discover something about God when we look at our relationships with other people. And I would say that if people reflected on the loving relationships that they have with their spouse or their partner or their parents or their children or their grandchildren, if they reflect on those relationships, they can begin to get a sense of what the relationship with God can be like. I'm often reminded of the relationship that my parents had with one another, in that they spent what seemed as a kid an inordinate amount of time in silence together, just kind of sitting in the same room. Dad would be reading, or Mom would be doing this or reading, or but it wasn't they weren't just doing two individual activities in the same room. They were actually in one another's presence, and that's the way they expressed their love for one another, by being in the other's presence. And I think if we think of prayer in that way, it's an opportunity simply to be in the presence of God, in the same way that you would be in the presence of somebody that you loved. And sure, sometimes that relationship between two people who love each other so intimately, sometimes that relationship is expressed through words. But sometimes that relationship is expressed wordlessly. That's a gift that monastic communities can give to people, is to invite them into that kind of loving silence, where all they have to do is sit in the presence of God and allow God to love them. And, in a sense, allow God to sit in their presence and for them to love God. As in that example, my parents used to just sit in one another's presence and love each other without saying anything to one another.